There is an enormous amount of unavoidable suffering in this world. And when you have to face something so excruciating, so irritating, so annoying, something that nobody enjoys, but to be an Olympic athlete, to excel at anything, to be a martyr who dies for a noble cause and, makes himself a shield so that somebody else can survive a bullet or wins Congressional Medal of Honor type things, it requires sacrifice, the path of most resistance. And the more you hate the path of most resistance, the less likely you are to do that. And the will of God, most people do not do the will of God, do not maximize their full potential because they're not willing to make the sacrifices necessary to do so. And so many people are suffering, and so many more victims of human trafficking, so many more victims of drug addiction, so many more people in our prison systems because they do not have a love for suffering. And St. Dominic used to tell people, pray for the grace to love suffering, because we have to suffer, we have to die, and there's so many more good deeds you can do. If, when you don't feel like getting out of bed, you do it and take the path of most resistance when you hate doing it, and do that good deed and forgive somebody who's wronged you, and give, a sacrifice that's going to please God to the poor person, and like Mother Teresa going into the slums to hold these smelly lepers and show them some dignity and show them some love before they die, and saying that's a prince, that's Jesus Christ, loving and cherishing that person who's no one that wants to come near them, and pulling maggots out of their smelly, rotting flesh and giving them dignity before they die. That's very hard work that even really, really virtuous people do not like to go near such people, and much less hold them, because it could be contagious and spread, and you could get really sick. And yet, doing that type of work, doing the work like Jesus, if you want to be my disciple, you must deny yourself, take up your cross, carry your cross daily, and follow me. And the crown of thorns is a crown of a king. And so the more you're willing to suffer and stay in that dark cloud, the more tolerance to suffering grows. Like resistance builds strength. Those Olympic weightlifters, the more they're tearing those muscles to a healthy extent, the stronger and stronger they become. It's painful. And it's also painful to not blame other people, to not be bigoted, to not to take more responsibilities for why we are suffering, and the amount of suffering that we make far worse, that we bring on ourselves by hatred, by unforgiveness, in my case by blaming God and by blasphemy, and so if I had the grace to love suffering, it's going to make me a better person all around, and on Judgment Day I'm going to be so much more happier, and I'm going to be able to not miss out on so many opportunities to do good deeds. And if a person cares about even vain things like their figure, eating healthy, losing weight, it still is a very helpful virtue to have. God bless you.